Can you hear me? Do I sound sexy?
You're good.
I guess I should have brushed my teeth.
Hey guys, sorry about
Hello.
that. I was having a little bit of technical difficulties. So welcome to Book Gossipers.
Thank you.
We have Becky, which is Mrs. Rose PA, and we have author, is it Cerise
Yes, Cerise Rose.
Rose, best-selling author with us today. And Becky, you go ahead and tell us a little bit about her books.
Why me? No, I'm just kidding. She's the author, but no. I love her books personally. Each has a different twist, especially with her new release, Chrome Poppies. It is an MC, but it definitely has a twist to it that you don't expect, which I personally love. I'm trying to think of the upcoming release. I don't know much about it because personally, she's still working on it and keeps changing things up on me.
Well, I can kind of explain that one a little bit. The upcoming release is called Cascade Duck, and at first I was going down like this really depressing route, and it was gonna be like just blood and bullets, and I'm not that kind of person. I don't write that kind of stuff, so I'm like, okay, I got to change it up. It's actually going to be my first reverse harem, but it's still MC, and it's basically a heist comedy book. So the whole idea is there's these four men, and she's dated them all at four separate times, but they need somebody small enough that could fit into spaces they can't. So they end up using her, and then she in turn uses them. So that's what it's a heist. They have a huge heist they're planning for, but not expecting the consequences of the last heist. So that's what it's about. There, Becky has a good idea.
Interesting.
It's different for me, right?
It is, but I'm excited for it.
Do you have some teasers?
Oh, for Cascade Duck?
Mm-hmm.
I have the one that you sent me.
I haven't made a whole lot of those, honestly.
Hold on, let me.
Probably the newest one I made. That
Yeah.
fits the new story more.
Yeah, hold on.
The character is like a no-nonsense, super sassy, and I think that's a lot of characters in books nowadays. Gotta write that sassy female.
Oops.
I'm not subservient myself, so I'm not gonna write him any other way but sassy and mouthy and sarcastic and snarky, and that's just me. How come I'm the only one on camera?
Because I don't like being on camera.
Oh, my Lanta.
Okay. There it is. Maybe.
That's pretty cool. Who does your book graphics? Do you do them yourself, or?
I did that one. I just get bored. Should be writing, but no, make graphics instead. Huh?
It seems to turn out that way, doesn't it? I like making my own graphics as well.
I do.
Well, we
sometimes,
can go ahead and start with Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, you go. I just say sometimes mine are hit and miss.
I was going to say we can go ahead and start with like a few get-to-know-you questions.
Okay.
So if you want to, you can go ahead and tell us where you're from, maybe where you lived as a child and what state you live in now. What do you like about it there?
Well, I was born in Olympia, Washington, raised a Navy brat. So we were kind of like all over the place, from Washington to California to Florida, back to Washington, back to California. So I was raised pretty much, in a few states. But I was also active duty Air Force as well, and I was stationed in Vandenberg, California. And then we ended up, when my husband and I got out, we ended up staying in California for a few years. Lived in Tehachapi, so that's one thing that Becky will see in all my books. I have actually used places that I've either lived or that I've been to. Something that has to do with the family. So I'll get back to that in a second. But right now, I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and it's hot, 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 hot. I hate it.
Yeah, yeah, I heard it was awful hot. Thank you for your service, by the way.
Oh, you're very
Um,
welcome.
Sorry, my mic did something weird there. Um, so do you have any siblings, or are you an only child?
I am the oldest of four. I have a sister and two brothers.
Do you have any children? Do you have any
I
pets?
Well, let's see. The kids first. I actually have three kids. My daughter will be 33 in November, and then I have twin sons who just turned 31 in May. I'm also a grandmother of two beautiful girls named Sophie and Emily. Sophie is 11. Emily just turned 9 last weekend. And I have a 7-year-old pit bull named Kane. And right now we have about 23, 24 quail.
Oh, wow. Congratulations on the grandbabies there.
It's a lot of damn grandbabies. I don't, what, the quail's not my thing. That's my husband's little hobby. I just look in the cage going, oh my God, you guys are so cute. And that's about it. I don't feed him or anything because it's not my thing. I'll feed the dog when he's lucky, but I won't feed the quail.
I don't blame you there. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite hobbies? What do you like to do for fun?
I love my naps. Love taking naps. That's fun to me. No, it else. Old age is creeping up. I got to take my naps. I got to get my beauty sleep. Um, I don't know. Honestly, writing has always been a hobby of mine. And so, yeah, I used to do it for fun. Now it's like I do it because I have to, but it's still fun. I love writing, but that's anything that's writing is basically my number one hobby. But I do have one kind of pricey hobby. Um, Becky has seen my obsession with buying book covers and my obsession for signing up with anthologies. I'm also an avid collector of vinyl records. And as of today, my collection is now up to 308 vinyls.
Oh, that's cool. I like vinyl records. My dad used to have some of them. What's some of your favorite music?
Oh my God, I listen to everything because I'm pretty eclectic. But typically my music depends on what I'm working on. To be honest, I mean, today of course, the music I was listening to today has really nothing to do with Cascade Duck. But then again, it's Britney Spears, it's sexy. That's what I was listening to today. I mean, I can have days where I can listen to hard rock. In fact, Becky got me hooked on Hailstorm. Thank you, Becky, because they rock.
You're very welcome.
um, sometimes I'll listen to country. So it all depends on my mood and also depends on what I'm working on. I do make playlists on Spotify of every single book. So I have playlists for every single book I write. And I'll play the playlist while I'm writing.
Yeah. I've had a lot of authors do that, and I usually do that too. So
Oh, it's so
they're
much
on
fun.
Spotify. Do you share them with your readers?
I have shared them on Facebook. They never really got a lot of response. Um, Hopefully they will because there's some pretty dope music on those playlists. And plus, it's also I think it'd be kind of fun to kind of listen to them while you're reading the book and see, okay, well, maybe this fits here, maybe this fits here. I try to have the music match the chapters, but the way my mind works, and this goes with writing too, it's all over the place. So that's going to be my music too. Sorry, my hair. The fan is blowing my hair, so it's getting on my nerves.
That's okay. Yeah, sometimes it helps to listen to the music that the writer listens to because it kind of puts you in that mindset of kind of where they're at when they're writing.
Mm-hmm. Or if I had like all this emo music going on, they're like, "What was going through her head when she was writing this?"
Yeah. Do you have a favorite snack that you like to eat while you're writing, or
I really don't snack while I'm writing. I eat enough. I don't need to snack. um, I don't have a snack. I'm not one of these that drinks wine because I can't stand wine. I know there's authors that'll drink wine while they're writing like sex scenes. Um, I haven't tried that yet. I got a bottle of Kraken in my armoire, so I should try to drink some, Diet Coke with some Kraken and see if that'll help my sex scenes. Because I'm gonna have a few to write in Cascade Duck.
oh, you might try some vodka and orange juice or something like that. I hate wine.
I don't like wine. I don't like beer either. So it's heavy stuff for me.
Yeah, I don't like beer either. It's nasty.
Yeah.
What's the first book you ever remember reading that got you interested in writing or reading?
Usually, typically, this was always a hard question for me whenever I was asked. But I remember the Nancy Drew books really got me into, reading and really wanting to write. And I think it was ever since I started reading those is when I started writing my own books. So that's got to be about third or fourth grade. So I've been writing since I was about 8 or 9 years old. I couldn't even tell you what the hell I wrote. I would just write random wherever I could find paper is what I would write. I could tell you my first story I ever wrote that I do remember. I was in fifth grade. And this is also when I took a love to brainstorming. And it's like one of my favorite things to do ever. We had brainstorming sessions every week. And we had to come up with a monster based on a food. So I remember one week it was all based around the egg. The next week was based around monsters and whatnot. So I ended up writing a book called The Egg and the Pickle Tutu Eater. That was my first actual story I had ever written. I really wish I'd kept it, but I don't keep stuff like that.
Did you say pickle tutu eater?
Yes, Pickle Tutu Eater. His body was shaped like a pickle, and I think he was purple, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he had stripes somewhere, and then he actually had a horn on the top of his head.
That's
So
cute.
it was cute. We had a couple crazy boys in my group that would think of crazy things like that.
So
And they'd
is
be
that
like,
around?
okay, we'll think of the monster. You write the book. It's like, okay, I'll do anything for you because you're cute.
So is that around the age you got interested in writing? Right around that age, or
Yeah.
just yeah? I was about 10 too when I first started writing, but mine was all poetry.
Mine wasn't poetry. And then I really didn't become serious about it until about, I was out of high school. I remember that. And I was writing this one book. And, it was basically a historical romance. My mom even gave me the title of it. And I'm sure Becky has heard this one a few times, Island Stream.
Yep.
That book took me 35 years to write. And I was working on it with my former best friend. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and publish this book. It wasn't edited. It wasn't formatted. We didn't have a nice, pretty cover for it. I had no idea about anything needed to make the book suitable to publish. So I published it. It was ugly. It was ugly. And I'm like, it just was one that never came to fruition. But I mean, over time, that's probably one I would love to revisit and completely revamp and rewrite. Not completely rewrite, but clean it up and get a beautiful cover on it, editing. I tried to release it under the name Fickle Butterfly, but a mess of a story is a mess of a story, and sometimes you just got to strip it and find a good one, which unfortunately has happened to one of my most recent releases called Flawed Incubus. That one right now it has been unpublished and is being completely rewritten 100% because the story just wasn't good. And it wasn't what I want to write. I was just basically going off, well, I need to add this and more sex I add to the book. Pardon me. The better it will be. No, it was just, there was too many POVs. It was just seriously one of the worst books I had written in the last couple of years.
Yeah, sometimes when you try to follow what you think others want to hear, it don't always turn out right because you're kind of
No.
forcing it. So you have to kind of just write what you know and stick to it. You know what the
And
characters say.
and that's what's been so wonderful about the last few books I've written. Um, Chrome Poppies is just one that means the world to me. Also because my granddaughter is actually a character in that book. She's the female main character in the book. It's also a completely different take on Motorcycle Club because it doesn't have the sex, it doesn't have the romance. It's not that kind of book. It's about an angel who sacrificed his life for this child, and he's been sent on a mission from a couple of angels named Franklin and Ezekiel to guide the child, protect her, and get her up to Northern California safely in order for him to be a full-fledged angel. Um, that's basically the whole plot of the book. Like I said, there's no romance, there's no sex, except for one little tiny part of the book. It's still not appropriate for kids, but it's still one of my favorite books I've written this year, to be honest.
Becky, you got some teasers for that one, don't you?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Your voice is so cute, Becky.
Thank you.
I've never heard your voice before.
Okay, hold on.
While she's
gonna
finding
play
that,
something?
you can go ahead and answer another question if you
Oh,
want
sure.
to.
Yeah.
How long does it usually take you to write a book normally? Do you have a set amount of time, a set word count that you write each day, or?
Um, I have had releases almost every month this year. If I was to write one book or two books a year, I could take my time with it, but I'm going to spend like 2 or 3 weeks writing Cascade Duck because it releases on October 7th. This one, Chrome Poppies, took me about maybe a month to write because I did start that one ahead of time. Between doing my solo projects like this is also part of a shared world called Global Outlaw Syndicate World. And then I'm also part of anthologies. In fact, we just found out today that one of the anthologies I was a part of got the number 4 best-selling banner. So it was my first orange banner ever. So I'm super floating about that right now. But yeah, it depends on the story. If I'm feeling it, it's a quick write. If I'm not feeling it, like like with Cascade Duck, I had to strip that one and start all over. So it could take me at least up a month, but it's like, with I have so many projects that I have to really rush on all of them.
Yeah, I understand that. I usually work on a bunch of projects at once and sometimes get lost in a
Yeah.
few different things, so it takes a bit.
Yeah, she has a problem with committing to too many projects at one time.
Hey, I used to do that. I had to pull back a little bit because I was in like 3 different anthologies, and then
Yeah.
I just stopped writing for a little while and, started
Well,
doing other things.
I have my last anthology for the year coming out in November, and it's part of Run Run Rudolph. Oh, actually, I take that back. Okay. I have one anthology coming out this month because that's a redo. We do not discuss rough around the edges. Um, and then I have seriously 4 releases in the next 4 months. 2 of them are anthologies. Of course, one is Cascade Duck, and then the other one is a sequel to my my YA series, Enchant Me. Yeah, I'm busy. I also have 2 pen names too, so it's like, having a juggle. Cerise Rose and Mina Sky. But I love this book. I love my Chrome Poppies. Now, another thing I want to mention about Chrome Poppies, because going back to the question of where I, am from, where I've lived, this and that. She's still on?
I don't know what happened.
I don't either. It's still live. We'll keep talking. Anyway,
Okay.
I'll just keep going. So anyway, about, the places I've lived. Chrome Poppies takes place in Kern County, California. So it goes from Lancaster to Tehachapi on up to Napa, California. And it's like, that's just one state. I've lived there for so long that I know so well. I know, like, okay, Lancaster is more of a desert area. You got the Tehachapi that's more considered like the central California, but desert mountains. And, of course, even though I lived in California, I'm still going to do research and look up the map going, okay, where's Sequoia National Forest? Which route did they have to take to get to Sequoia? So that's another thing I had to kind of toy with is I have to look at maps, even if I'm from the place. Las Vegas is like, this city's so easy to understand that, I don't have to do it. I don't have to use a map for that. But if you notice, I don't ever really write books that take place in Vegas.
You don't?
No, not at all. So do you have any questions for me, Becky? Because I don't know what happened to Terry.
She just messaged me. She lost internet for a second. It's storming where she's at.
Oh, we're supposed to be getting severe thunderstorms here.
Yeah, it's been raining here a little bit. Okay, let's see. Questions. Okay. Do you have a unique writing quirk?
Yeah, I don't even know what a writing quirk would be, to be honest.
I don't either.
Now maybe a quirk. Let me see. I'm gonna have to Google it because I don't know exactly what a quirk is. Then I can tell you. It's like you would think I would know all the words. I'm an author, but I don't. Quirk definition.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
Yeah, I don't really have. Oh, go ahead.
It's storming here, so the internet was kind of wonky there for a second.
Oh, shit. I mean, shoot. Sorry. I was at lunch and I forgot to clock in. So hopefully my manager could take care of that for me. Just a second. Sorry. I'm actually at work too. Oh, come on. Completely lost track of time. Give me a second. I will answer that question. I'm like panicky typey.
You're fine.
It's a good thing my laptop's right here. Yeah, I clocked in about 15 minutes late. Shoot. Quirk. I don't really have like any kind of quirk when it comes to writing. Unless one can be considered too many ideas in one book. I'm not sure if that's a quirk. A peculiar behavioral habit. No. I'm already quirky as it is, so I don't think I need to add any more to that.
Okay. The next question, are your books only indie published or are they traditionally published? Which I know the answer to, but you can let everybody else know.
I am 100% an indie author.
And they can buy your books where?
They can buy my books on Amazon.
All
That's it. It's Amazon exclusive.
right. Yours are in KU, are they not?
Yes. My books are all in Kindle Unlimited. And then also I have audiobooks out as well, which you can actually purchase on Amazon, or you can go to audible.com and get those as well.
Okay. And there will be a giveaway for an audiobook link of Chrome Poppies.
There will be a giveaway for the audiobook as well as an art copy of the ebook.
Okay.
Of Chrome
And
Poppies.
We'll post that in the pinned comments.
Yeah.
Later. Okay. Where, how, and when do you get ideas for your books?
When I'm supposed to be sleeping in bed. All of my ideas, for some reason, seem to happen the minute I lay down and go to sleep. Seriously. I'm like, oh my God. I don't go to bed with my laptop next to me or my little recorder. But no, it seems to happen every time I lay down. And that's when I had the idea, like, yeah, with Cascade Duck, I'm like, I can't write this. And so, of course, I get up, I went to sleep. Then all of a sudden I had this idea to completely change Cascade Duck. I get up and I'm messaging Nikki going, Nikki, I have an idea. Da, 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 da. And that's how it came about with Cascade Duck turning from this really super depressing story about, her trying to deal with her mother's death and this and that. And it was just a really pointless story and something I wouldn't want to read, to be honest, to the more exciting, sexier, reverse harem MC heist comedy. So that's something I would rather read than a girl dealing with her mother's death and, the super awesome dude taking care of her. I don't read that stuff. Okay. I always have to have that little bit of comedy and quirkiness in my books. But this one, I can tell you, does not have a fantasy twist. There is no fantasy in Cascade Duck. It's a straight up contemporary motorcycle club book.
Is your family supportive of your writing? And if so, who's your biggest supporter?
100%. I have to say, honestly, my husband is a big supporter on the business aspect of it. But my biggest supporter that has actually read almost all of my books, and she loves the book Fairy, is my sister-in-law, Penny. I'd say Sophie, but Sophie still hasn't read Vexed yet.
Nevaeh has, and she just seen my post on Instagram earlier about the second book, and she's like, do I have to wait till December or do I get to read it early? I was like, you're gonna have to take that up with her.
You know what? I will make an exception for Nevaeh. Is it Nevaeh or Nevaeh?
Nevaeh.
Nevaeh, okay. Yes. Let her know
Sorry
once it's
about
edited.
that, guys.
That's
You're
okay.
fine.
Yeah, let her know once it's edited. She's gonna have first sneak peek of it.
Okay. Who is your favorite author and book? Or do you have a favorite author and book? I always hate this question.
I do too, because you know what? Indie authors is too hard to pick. Honestly, my favorite indie author right now, I actually have a couple of them, but Bailey B is my girl. I will read anything that girl writes. Another one I have fallen in love with and never thought that I would read MM books, which is Male on Male. But Nicole Dykes has become one of my favorite authors, and her books are absolutely extraordinary. And she's given me the love to want to write, to kind of go outside that comfort zone and write those kind of books. But, if we're going like traditional authors, I'm a James Patterson girl all the way. So James Patterson, love Stephen King, Nora Roberts, J.K. Rowling. Yes, I was one of these addicted to anything Twilight. Still am. I'm a sucker for that crap. But I mean, I have a whole list of authors. I'm just not a really huge, big reader because right now, seriously, I don't have time to read. Although somebody's like, that's no excuse.
I usually do quite a bit of reading. I love to read, so I'm gonna have to check out your books.
Thank you, thank you. I was even telling my husband, I'm like, dude, I know you don't read. He goes, but I'm like, you would love Chrome Poppies. Because my sons refuse to read these, any of my books if they have sex in them. Yeah.
Is that the favorite book that you've written?
Chrome Poppies?
Yeah.
Hands down. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite character
In Chrome Poppies?
in any book that you've
Oh.
written?
Oh my
That's a
God.
hard question.
It's really a hard question, but honestly, I do have my ultimate favorite character that I have written in any book, and it's from a vampire series that I wrote last year under an old pen name. And I got to go with my girl Casey Goad Bellowomo. Has been my favorite female character I've written. Favorite male, brand new one now. I love Jensen Grimes. Absolutely love his character. So he's my favorite male I've written.
That's good. Becky, you're going to have to send that link over to me so I can check her book out.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, the vampire ones aren't available on ebook or paperback, but they are available on audiobook. And I think that was like the nastiest book I wrote. Sexiest book was Jaded Vamp. I know I've gotten a few people that are like, "Are you going to rebrand it and re-release it under Cerise Rose?" And I'm like, I don't have time.
Too much other
Well,
stuff going on.
I got too much stuff.
yeah, busy schedules. What was one surprising thing you learned while writing over the entire time you've been writing?
What's the one? What?
Surprising thing that you've learned?
Not to write for the masses, but to write for yourself. I was writing what I thought everybody else was wanting to read, and I got to the point where I wasn't enjoying it. But that's I found that when I had the mindset to write for myself, although I was told time and time, it's like, no, I need to sell my books, so I'm going to write this and add this and do this and do this. But when I dropped that mindset and said, you know what, if they do well, they do well. That's cool. Not really cool, when they don't do well, but I can't force it. Um, when I started, I noticed like Chrome Poppies was one I wrote for myself, and I noticed that when I write a story for myself, and I love the story more. Like, the good example is Chrome Poppies. I have a Christmas anthology I'm part of that's coming out in November, and not really a big contemporary author, so I thought I wasn't, but it's like this book really makes me want to just drop the whole fantasy PNR thing and just start writing nothing but contemporary. But it's a little short story. It's like a friends to enemies to lovers type story called Chef's Kiss. And it's certain things that I have learned this year. It's like, I always thought that PNR was my niche. I always thought that writing PNR was my love. But I'm finding my love is contemporary and MC.
I think your interests kind of change as you grow as a writer.
I just, fantasy is so absolutely difficult to write. It really is. It's really hard to find an audience, and a lot of the like tropes or genres are so saturated. And then when you try to be original, it's not so original anymore.
Right,
So
yeah. Becky
what I
and I
really
were talking about that earlier today, that it's so saturated with so much stuff that it's hard to come up with an idea that hasn't already been written.
Precisely. And that's why I refuse to put shifters in my book. Well, Flawed Incubus is a different story, but they don't shift into animals. Um, but I think I'm just I think my mindset is just leaning more towards wanting to really go more of a contemporary route. I mean, maybe even Western, but even Western is really difficult um, to master as well. Especially if you're doing more historical. And then, of course, the anthology I was part of last year that we found we got the not last year but last month that we got the Orange Manor on. That was a regent. That was historical romance. So I've been wearing many hats this year, but all it's really done was kind of help me find my niche. I'm like, okay, maybe PNR is not my niche. So Cerise Rose may be a different author next year with what she's putting out. Um, I'm actually going to probably say that the Mystic, I can't even say that. Both of my series I'm putting out next year, Mystic Angels and the Enchant Me series by Mina Sky, are both fantasy, but they're contemporary fantasy, which, you add that little element, it makes it a lot easier. So I rather stick with the contemporary. Writing historical or epic fantasy, no, that's not my thing. I'm not into making maps, and it's like the whole world building with an epic fantasy is just so time consuming, and you really have to, be a master at that and really have that imagination. And I just don't.
Yeah, you have to be like J.K. or Game of
Tolkien,
Thrones or
yeah,
yeah,
George R. R. Martin.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll leave the epic fantasy to them. I'll stay with the
Yeah.
contemporary.
I'll read them, but I'm not gonna write them. Are your
I can't
books
even read
only
them, to be
indie
honest.
published, or are you gonna try to traditionally publish?
We've done that question already.
Oh, have you?
I
Okay.
don't. No, I didn't. I didn't answer the second part, but I think right now I'm fine with being an indie author. I don't know if I'm going to go the traditional route.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I like being an indie author better too. I don't really think I would want to go traditional because I kind of want my stories to stay how I want them to, not
You
have
have
somebody else.
precisely. You have more liberties being an indie author.
Definitely. Um, hold on just a second. Okay, sorry about that. My computer was trying to update on me, and I had to stop that before it cut me out again. That would have been terrible. Um, have you ever wrote a character that was inspired by a family member, or do any of your characters actually represent you?
Not really represent me 100%. However, family member Emily Dillon in Chrome Poppies is based off my 9-year-old granddaughter Emily Manrique. From the description with the wavy black hair to the big brown eyes, um, it was so much fun writing this one and having her incorporate her, Emilyisms and whatnot. Um, like for example, in the book, she carries a pink bunny, and the only reason why that came about is because I was looking for muse pictures of who I think would look just like my granddaughter, and I happened to find a picture of dark, girl with dark hair, big brown eyes, carrying a pink bunny. So in Chrome Poppy, she has a pink bunny. So when I mentioned it to Emily, Emily goes, "Why a pink bunny?" I said, "Because I don't see a girl with any picture. I don't see a picture of any girl carrying a brown monkey." And I said, "And its name's going to be Pink Bunny." "Well, why Pink Bunny?" And then her sister's like, "Um, You have a monkey that's brown, and you named it Brown Monkey. Hello. So Emily has Pink Bunny in the book. And one thing she asked if she can cuss in the book. So yeah, there's a couple of spots. She blurts out a couple expletives, and Jensen gets on her for those. I also took like her love of Roblox, and incorporated that in the book as well, because Emily is satisfied with having her nose in her laptop or her Switch all day, every day.
Yeah,
And
my
then,
kids liked Roblox a lot too
oh God,
when
yeah,
they were
that's
younger.
she's 9, so she's obsessed with it. But when I told her, about having it narrated, I asked her, who would you like to have narrate the book? And she goes, that guy. Okay. So she was talking about Aaron Smith. She really wanted him to narrate the book, so long as he didn't make her sound lame. And he didn't. He did a fantastic job on the book. So it was fun to have
Uh,
Emily a part of that, as well as being the character.
right. Well, that's good. I wrote a book that was based on my daughter and her fight with autism. So, yeah, I think we tend to do that. We tend to base our characters on people that are important to us.
Well, I told her sister that I want to write a book. There's a series that I'm going to work on for either 2024 or 20, I think 2024. And it's going to be a young adult series, and it's a Reaper series. So it's basically three girls. It's going to have three different eras. So it's going to go from future to present to past. And I was telling Sophie, her older sister, that you're going to be in one of those books. You're going to be the main character, because unfortunately, the main character with her namesake that I wrote was a villain, and she's like seriously still to this day one of the nastiest villains I had ever written. Although one of my favorite villains I wrote, but she was just nasty. I'm like, I don't want Sophie in that limelight. So,
So, what do you think makes a good story?
um, I don't know. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
that's kind of a hard question.
it really is, because I don't put like a lot of thought into my books. I just write them. I think honestly, in my opinion, what makes a good story and what drives a good story is, of course, you got to have a plot. However, more importantly, you have to have characters that aren't 2D. It's like you want these characters to fly off the page. And I mean, I don't know. Becky could tell me this, what my characters are like. I don't like to, fluff my own, like, "Ooh, yeah, my character's awesome."
Yeah, I think you gotta kind of connect with the characters. That's what
Mhm.
kind of makes it a good story. Make them relatable. Because if everyone hates the characters, they
Yeah.
don't want to read it.
Well, that's one reason why me and my friend are, completely rewriting Flawed Incubus, co-writing on it, is because too many reviews could not stand either one of the main characters. So I'm like, yeah, no, I can't have that. So that was one of the main reasons. If the readers don't like the characters, the book's not going to fly. Although the rest of the reviews have been really good. What's really funny about Chrome Poppies is that a few people's favorite character has been a secondary character in the book. Not either one of the main, but one of the secondary characters. And who's
That
that, Becky?
Frankie.
Franklin, yes.
that tends to happen. I had a secondary character become a favorite.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Franklin. She's like one of my favorite characters in Chrome Poppies.
As a child, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always want to be a writer, or did you want to do something else?
You know what I actually wanted to be was, I mean, I knew I always wanted to be a writer, but then I want to design clothes. Right. Yeah, that never happened. Yeah.
I can design a book cover, but clothes, nope. Now my daughter, she could probably design you some pretty clothes.
My designer, my go-to is Target or Old Navy, or I don't, I do designer shoes, name brand shoes. I don't care about my pants or my t-shirts and stuff. Guess when you get to a certain age, you don't really care about what you're wearing or who you're wearing, rather, just if it's comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could choose to live anywhere in the world and money wasn't an issue, where would you choose and why?
Where would I choose to live? You know what? I would love to go visit Paris, do a European vacation, but I would love to have a cabin lakeside in Montana, or even um, would be out in Washington. It's beautiful there.
Yeah, I'd want to travel to a couple of different places, see what I liked.
Yeah, I just want to get out of the big city.
I live in a very small city, so I want to get out of the small city.
If we could switch, then you can come to Vegas.
Sure, I'll play at the casinos for a while and you can come
Mhm.
here where nothing
You know,
ever happens.
well, I mean, you're going to find it interesting that a lot of us locals don't really go to the casino to gamble. I mean, I go to the casino to the movie theater. I don't even go near the slot machines. We watch the movies in the theater, or we go
Yeah,
bowling.
I would assume that's probably more of a tourist thing.
Yeah, but a lot of the locals, unless you're like got issues. But I mean, I also work in gaming industry, so I deal with people gambling and stuff every day.
Uh, if you could have three wishes, what would they be and why?
Well, I could say one wish came true today. Um, that was like one of my ultimate goals, so that's something I could take off my bucket list. As menial as it may seem to some, I just wanted an orange banner, saying bestseller, and that actually happened today. So I'm super super proud of that. Super proud of the anthology and the ladies I worked with on it. Um, it was just an incredible experience altogether. That it was like putting back on that Regency cap, which isn't the easiest to write, but that was just one I was so super proud to be a part of. Um, my second wish is I don't know. I mean, as much as I would like to be recognized, I'd rather be recommended, honestly, than recognized. I kind of like my privacy. And, I have this fear. It's really stupid. But I have this fear ever since watching Misery, the whole number one fan thing, that kind of freaks me out a bit. So I really would honestly rather not be recognized.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And my third wish is to live in a bigger house. There. Okay, that was easy.
I remember when I got my first banner too. It was amazing.
Oh, it's
It's
exciting.
very. What advice would you give new writers to help them?
What was the first part of the question? Oh, what
What ad-
advice?
yeah, what advice would you give to new authors or writers to help them?
God, I mean, there's so many aspects to writing. Write what you love, write what you know. Don't write to the masses, write what's in your heart. That would be my number one. Um, you got to really learn to trust people, trust the right people. Um, you know, it's important to make sure that when you are ready to publish that book, that it is edited to the hilt, because there are some fabulous editors out there. Have it formatted, because Island Stream wasn't formatted and it was a hot mess. And then, of course, Most important, find a cover. It can be beautiful, but it's also going to be appropriate to the book. And make sure you have a really good blurb because it's, there's certain rules you have to remember. A reader's going to see the cover first, then they're going to read the blurb. Now, mind you, I'm the queen of not writing very good blurbs. So I always need help in that department. But I would say the number one advice for brand new authors is write with your heart.
I
It took
agree.
me, yeah, it took me 3 years to figure that out.
Yeah, if you stick to that, you can't go wrong. Even if it doesn't do as good as you think it should, it's still true to who you are.
And that's how I feel about Chrome Poppies right now. I really honestly, thought that it would be better, but the thing is, Rome wasn't built in a day. And when you hear of these really super popular authors like Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, how many years it took them to finally get their books noticed, finally get their books read. I mean, this was also in a time too when indie publishing really didn't exist that much. Um, you have to learn reject. You have to learn to take constructive criticism. You have to learn to take constructive criticism and use it as a tool and not take it to heart. That's another thing you really want to learn as a brand new author. Um, because to me, there's a difference between somebody just like slamming your book and somebody offering to help. Um, that's something you have to learn. That's something too that I've always been really good about. Also, it's like yeah, I've had maybe one or two reviews, like 1-star review. I've had a couple hilarious ones. They seriously hated the story, so I'm like, okay, whatever, it's all good. Don't take the bad reviews to heart. Take those as a learning tool, and that's why with Flawed Incubus, for example, I mean, they weren't bad reviews, but when you have so many people telling you that they can't stand the main characters, it's time to pull back, fix the issues. Because I still love the story, but the story that I have in mind, I love. The story that was published was not the story I wanted to tell. So I
Yeah.
think I just got derailed a little bit. Sorry, I do that a lot.
Oh, that's okay. Um,
Becky's used to it.
what is your favorite movie based on a book? And your favorite TV show based on a book?
My favorite movie based on a book, all the Harry Potters. Sorry. But then again, I mean, I can say that that's like, ooh, that's typical. But honestly, I'm going to tell you my favorite movie based on a book is The Green Mile. That was actually based off a short story from Stephen King. But the movie is just absolutely brilliant, and I still cry every time I watch it. It's just a beautiful movie. My favorite TV show based on a book, Outlander. Straight up. I'm an Outlander girl.
Yeah, I loved the Harry Potter series. It's my absolute
Hmm.
all-time favorite.
Oh, I've seen the movies 100,000 times, so yeah.
Yeah, we usually have a marathon every birthday of mine and watch them all over again. So you said you work in gaming. So are you a gamer? What's your favorite game based on a book?
I don't play video games. I don't at all. No, I work in the gaming industry. I work for Caesar's Sportsbook, so it's a betting app. So that's kind of gaming I'm talking about, like gambling, gaming. I don't I don't play video games.
Okay.
I have a PS3. It's just not hooked up. It's just gathering dust. That's how much gaming I do. I was using it for a Blu-ray player anyway.
Well, at least that has a use for something.
It did, yeah. I'll leave the gaming up to my kids.
What's your
That's their thing.
yeah? What's your favorite childhood memory?
Oh, my Lanta. Um, I don't know. These questions always like trip me up. One thing I remember, yeah, in fact, it's really funny you asked this because I was talking to my husband about it yesterday, and I just remember when we were kids, we'd all pile in my dad's station wagon, and it was usually on a Sunday, and we'd just go for a drive. My dad wouldn't tell me where we were going, and like in Washington State, we ended up either at we go to Coopville, go to like Fort Casey, this and that, go look at whatever it was in Coopville. Um, or we take a trip to Cascade Mountains or Mount Baker. And then, of course, when we were stationed in California, we would go to Yosemite, or as Emily pronounces it in Chrome Poppies, Yemity. Or we would go to the Sequoia National Forest or Disneyland, Great America, or even the beach, Morro Bay. So we never knew where my dad was going to go. And I think those are my favorite memories, was just getting into the car and just driving and then ending up wherever.
So you like to travel a lot then?
Oh, yeah.
You still?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
By car, I really love it by car. Not so much by plane.
Yeah, I don't want to get in a plane. Never been in a plane. Don't think I ever will be. I'm afraid of heights.
You don't even notice it when you're in the plane, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard that. I might try it one day. I did get in the helicopter once with my husband, but
That I
he
haven't
had to
done.
talk me into it. It was a Ricky Dio thing too. We went to Gatlinburg and seen the sights and stuff, and I thought I was gonna die. So it wasn't until I started focusing on how pretty everything was.
Oh, yeah, when you get your mind off of it, you get off the, get your mind off the heights, then you're good.
Yep, nope, not me. My feet are staying planted on the ground.
Well, my husband's trying to discourage me from driving to Colorado next year for the signing, but I'm like, dude, I have so much stuff I have to bring, and Colorado's only 12 hours from here. So I don't know. I want to drive. I gotta let my little Mini Cooper stretch her legs. See what how far I could take her.
Hey Becky, if you'll send that signing over to me, I will pin it in the comments or put it in the comments of this video. That way everybody will know she has a signing coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Committed at the Stanley Hotel, November 11th, 2023.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like for your readers to know about you?
I got lots and lots coming in 2023 and 2024 and 2025 is starting to add a couple of books to that. So just be on the lookout for, more of my books. I'm really hoping to kind of rebrand myself and turn more into contemporary or Western, just getting away from the fantasy aspect of all the books. So, but I don't have anything. Just look out for Cascade Duck in October 7th and the Run Run Rudolph anthology November 15th. Oh, the Unleashed anthology September 20th. And Vigilant Enchant Me series book 2 December 13th. So Nevaeh has to be patient. It's only 3 months away.
She says that's too long.
I gotta finish writing it.
That's what I told her.
I'm not Superwoman. Wish I was. But I can't think of anything else to add. We are going to be doing a giveaway. So I'm not sure how that works, but a lucky winner will run in our ebook copy of Chrome Poppies as well as a promo code for the audiobook narrated by Aaron Smith. And you want to talk about a master. He's narrated several of my books, and he's so phenomenal at what he does. He's really, really good. So hopefully Chrome Poppies will not be the only book of Cerise Rose that he's going to do.
I think what we'll do is we'll just have them come here for the giveaway and just maybe share the video so it'll get out and people can hear the interview and get to know you a little bit better and see a few of your teasers, and I'll put your links in the comments and all that stuff too.
Oh, that'd be great.
And then in a couple of days, Becky can come back and her and I will put their name in the random wheel and we'll pick a winner, if that's okay with you.
That's cool with me. So come on, read us. Let's read some Chrome Poppies.
Go
And
ahead,
some
Becky,
rats.
and put the giveaway up on the screen.
I'm gonna have to give me a second.
Okay.
Trying to do the Bob Barker hands. The giveaway.
Oh crud! Hold on.
Thanks for joining me and doing this with me for my first interview.
Oh,
Sorry
it's my
about
pleasure.
the technical difficulties.
No, it happens. It happens.
It tends to happen here a lot when it storms because of the mountains and stuff. So, and hopefully we'll get this channel more popular, and then we'll have more people come in and stuff like that. So,
Oh, most definitely. Just get the word out. We're seeing Becky.
Yeah, I'm screwing everything up. Hold on. I
you're
meant to
struggling
stop it.
there.
Yeah, give me a second. There, that's what I wanted to do. Hold on.
Oh, yay. Okay.
Okay.
I noticed that the blonde hair really washes me out, huh? Or is it the lighting? Or is it the shirt I'm wearing? I went blonde from being red.
You look good. I mean, I don't see it. It might just be the way it looks to you from the lighting.
I think it's the lighting, and I think it's the color of the shirt.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, I have got all your links in the comment section and everything. If you want to go ahead and once she's finished, we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
If she ever gets finished,
Yeah, sorry.
I like to pick on Becky. We've been friends since we were since she was born. I used to carry
Oh,
her
wow.
around when she was a kid.
I've known Becky for, 2 years?
Yeah.
2020?
I used to feed her bottle.
Oh, wow. I think Becky's as old as my kids are.
Yeah.
I'm not much older than you, am I, Becky?
I don't think so.
No, I think I was little when I was feeding you your bottle.
Yeah, I think she's about my daughter's age.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm an old lady.
Becky's mom and my mom are best friends, so
Okay. Maybe. Possibly. I think I have it.
hallelujah. No, I'm kidding.
Shush! I told you I'd get all bumfuzzled in these things.
It's okay. I had a lot of technical difficulties, so I let you slide.
Why is it not bigger? No. Maybe. Possibly. There we go.
I think so.
Yeah.
Ah,
Here we go.
there you go. Yay, you did it. Okay, and I'll pin it in the comments
Oh,
and
I
everything.
was gonna say that if we're doing a couple of winners, I mean, they could both win the ebook and the audiobook, the promo codes.
Okay. Well, I thought you were doing one of each.
No. So whoever wins, I mean, 2 winners is perfect with me because honestly, that's the nice thing is I always have ARC copies, I always have promo book copies, so or promo codes. So 2 winners is perfect to pick, to win both.
Okay. Well, I'll pick something.
Okay, I'll edit that in mine too.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for
You're
hanging
so
out with me
welcome.
and answering all my questions, and I've had fun. Maybe we can do it
It was fun.
again when you have another release coming out or something. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'll do one every month. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Take
Have a
care,
good
guys.
night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.